Okay, we have done it. We've taken out the Elite Four. Now all that's left to do is fight the champion, and we win. Now before you go on, make sure you have your entire team all healed, all ready and stuff. Make sure they have their power points restored, everything like that. And inside this door you will meet Cynthia, the champion. Not to mention some pretty awesome music. I accept your challenge. And this is it. This is it. You are challenged by Champion Cynthia. Now she has a full team of 6 Pokemon. The first Pokemon that she'll use is always going to be her Spiritomb. Now, it doesn't really have any weakness, so to speak, because it's a Dark and Ghost type. It's totally immune to Psychic moves, it's totally immune to Normal type moves, and to Fighting type moves. So, it resists a ton. Don't even try using any of those moves against it. Now as for its moves, it has Dark Pulse, Silver Wind as you just saw there, Psychic, and Embargo. Now, if you're going to be using a X item strategy like I am, you really are going to get very annoyed by Embargo, because that means you aren't going to be able to use your items. But it's still probably better that you try to use them against Spiritomb than wait for something else on her team, because most everything else on her team has a ton of offensive moves. So really your best bet is going to be buffing up against this Spiritomb, because, you know, everything else is just going to do so much more damage. So, in my case, what I do is I just use Defend Order whenever I'm embargoed, or just use it in general anyway. I have Heal Order so I can heal, and I'm in pretty good shape even if it does use Embargo. Now, as you can see, its attacks do a nice amount of damage, so you need to be very careful. If you think you're getting a little too hurt by Spiritomb's attacks, you might want to open up the fight with a X Special Defense. In fact, if your Pokemon has low Special Defense, I'd recommend using that anyway, because a lot of Cynthia's Pokemon, they use special-based attacks. Okay, now one thing also important is using X Speed, because she has one very fast Pokemon on her team. Okay, now this is where it gets annoying, the Embargo. So I can't really use items right now. And if you get hit with Embargo, you won't be able to use them too. So it's really important that you have a strategy to think of what if it uses Embargo. If you're going to be using a lot of time using your items, chances are it will use Embargo. So please try to have some healing move if you're using that buff strategy. If you aren't, you can probably just rip through Spiritomb without any setup time or anything like that. Or maybe use something like Nasty Plot if you're using Azelf. Although if you're using Azelf, be very careful. I wouldn't start with Azelf, because both Dark Pulse and Silver Wind will do a ton of damage to it. Nasty Plot up against something else, trust me. Let's see. It's annoying too, because it doesn't have any weakness, this Spiritomb. So if you are, if you get it down into the red zone, Cynthia will just use a full restore. But chances are you aren't going to be able to one-hit KO it anyway, unless you do a lot of, like, stat upping and stuff. Or you just have, like, this gigantic attack power or something. So chances are it's not going to be knocked out in one hit. I mean, even that was a critical hit. And it didn't even do half, just barely half. So, okay, phew, I can use items again. So I will take that opportunity to do that. And I'll put these X attacks on just so that way I can, well, hit harder, of course. I'm valuing that over speed at the moment because I know I can increase that later. Now, I know if you're not going to be using like a billion items against the Spiritomb, you're going to be going, wow, you know what? You've been fighting for like 5 minutes and you haven't really done anything. What's up with that? Well, okay, consider this. My Vespiquen here is only level 52. I think she's the strongest on my team right now because you've seen, like, everything I've done in the game. So I haven't trained around or just did a whole ton of grinding except up to get to level 50 in the first place. And it would have taken way too long otherwise. And a lot of people go in there at this level. If you can't handle it at this level, using X items is a great way to go. Oh, great. Look at that. 1 hit point left, probably. Just my luck, huh? So we can anticipate a full restore here, but I'm still going to hit it anyway. Either just on that off chance, or just because I think it'll feel good. Now I'm using Power Gem rather than Attack Order, because I think I was doing like half of its hit points and damage anyway. So I'll need to try and keep it out of the red zone because I think Cynthia will just use another full restore. Well, that's interesting. She withdrew the Spiritomb. So now we have to deal with this Gastrodon here, which is another Pokemon in her team. Okay. Well, Power Gem didn't really do all that good, because I was just trying to buy some time and save Attack Order's power points. Because remember, that's very important too. If you don't have a lot of Ethers and Elixirs, you know, you gotta save them. Particularly if you're using more of a one Pokemon strategy, like I'm using this X item strategy, so if I switch to something else, it's going to take a lot to recover all those items. So I have to be very careful. Now Garchomp, I mean, not Garchomp, she does have a... Oh no! Now Gastrodon here has Muddy Water, as you just saw. Ah! Not good at all! Oh no! Okay, so that completely ruins your strategy if you're going for an X item strategy if they get a critical hit in on you. And this one did! Stupid Gastrodon. Okay, so I'm gonna have to buy some time with my own Gastrodon, which happens to look a lot cooler because it's the blue one, the EC. Now I'm gonna use a special defense, an X special defense on it to hopefully let it take a few hits so I can use a revive or something. I don't know. I might even be able to take it out, to be perfectly honest, because Surf, I think I can probably do that. It's just that accuracy thing. Muddy Water lowers your accuracy. Now I'm taking a very big gamble here with Astro because he's not very fast and I don't know. Without like anything to really power him up, I don't know. This is going to take a little bit of luck and a little bit of skill here. So let's give him some speed because one thing I do not want to see right now, but I kind of do, is her Garchomp. And that comes up in a little bit. Hopefully. Hopefully I can take it. Because that's the thing I'm most worried about. It's at level 66. And it's fast, too. And hits so hard. Okay, but this Gastrodon here. Right, I didn't even finish its moves. It has Muddy Water, as you've seen. Stone Edge, which can be annoying. Earthquake, and then a rather weaker Sludge Bomb. So it has a wide assortment. Just kind of be on your guard. But fortunately, it's only at level 60, which is pretty weak for the rest of her team. It's just, it's going to be hitting you every turn. So you have to be able to deal with that. Also, it uses both physical and special-based attacks, so you can't really just pop an X Defend or an X Special Defend and see it work. Oh, come on. Oh, that wasn't a critical hit. That isn't good. I have to really hope it doesn't use Earthquake again. I mean, I know I'm going to use this Hyper Potion here, but still. It's taking so much to set up on this Gastrodon. Okay, there we go. Stone Edge usually didn't seem to do that much damage. But naturally, a critical hit. Just my luck. I mean, even though I know it does have a higher critical hit ratio, but still. Okay, but I want to make sure I can actually deliver the final blow. So I better use an X Special here because I'm going to need a little extra oomph, and I don't know if I can get the rain dance set up, or if it's even worth it, to be perfectly honest. Now, I'm really hoping he doesn't use an earthquake here, or she, I'm sorry. I'm really hoping that she doesn't use an earthquake, because I think that would do probably enough to knock it out. Oh, and this really isn't good. I don't have, like, a lot of accuracy at all. So, I don't know what I'm going to do if I miss. I'm really going to have to hope I get lucky here and hit. Because I think my accuracy's down like 2 or 3 levels or something. So it's really just a coin flip if I can even hit this thing in the first place. Now I used a whole ton of different X items on it to boost Astro's speed and special defense and stuff like that. So that's why Astro's so strong right now. And I used the X accuracy on it to hopefully restore its accuracy from those muddy waters that it got hit by. Now that poison, that was really rude. I mean it. I mean, of all the nerve to poison me with Sludge Bomb, you couldn't just, you know, have the damage or whatnot. You had to poison me. Now this is very, very close, because I do not want to get knocked out right now. And I'm so glad I have 8 hit points left, because otherwise, all those stats I've been raising, all gone. Now this is a great time to use a full restore, so I think I'll do that right now. Normally a Hyper Potion would get the job, but since I'm also poisoned, which these gym or Elite Four members and Cynthia here, they do sometimes. So it's just, you know. Anyway, back to business here. I think I might be ready to start trying to hit this thing. Now I think, if my calculations are correct and stuff, if I'm remembering straight, I think I'm at a -1 accuracy penalty. So I only have a 2 in 3 chance of hitting. I think. But it was just enough to take out that Gastrodon. Thank goodness. Now Roserade, that is not what I want to see right now. But I really don't want to switch either, because I'll lose all those stats. Now, Gastrodon has a 4x weakness to grass, so any grass-type moves this Roserade uses against me will do quadruple damage. Thankfully, it used Sludge Bomb rather than Energy Ball, because it has Energy Ball. Oh, come on! You've got to be kidding me. It uses, it has Energy Ball, Sludge Bomb, Shadow Ball, and Extra Sensory, which is a Psychic-type move. Now, I took a gamble here with Blizzard. It doesn't have the greatest accuracy in the world, but I have it on there specifically to try and get a good hit in on Garchomp. I took a gamble with it using it against Roserade, though, because I didn't know what else to do against Roserade. Thankfully it hit, but I wouldn't rely on it, remember that. Okay, here's the Garchomp. That's the thing I've been looking forward to. Or not really looking forward to, but the thing I've been planning for. Now hopefully... Oh man, I got so lucky it used Brick Break. Even that did a ton of damage, but it has Dragon Rush, Earthquake, Brick Break, and Giga Impact. Now, remarkably, my Blizzard hit again! I can't believe that. For once in my life, I think my luck finally turned around, because I really needed that Blizzard to hit, even with that accuracy penalty, and I really needed Garchomp to use Brick Break or Earthquake. Giga Impact or Dragon Rush probably, no, almost definitely would have knocked Astro out. So I'm very thankful here. That Garchomp is very fast, very powerful. It's a Dragon Ground type, so it's still very weak to Ice, but not all that weak to pretty much anything else. So you have to be very careful in how you take it down. Normally, you'll have trouble with it. You can try Stick Blizzard on one of your Pokemon to see if that, you know, if you can get a lucky hit in, but just keep in mind it has a very low accuracy. Ice Beam is a much better alternative if you can afford it at the game corner, or if if you feel like using the one you picked up somewhere. Okay, Lucario. This is probably Cynthia's second toughest Pokemon, at least in my opinion. It has Aura Sphere, Dragon Pulse, Psychic, and Earthquake. So again, quite a diverse assortment of moves. Most of them, though, are special based. Earthquake, however, is not. So I think the X special defenses I were using will come in handy. It's still hitting very hard, though. Be very careful about that. Fire type attacks, or fighting type, or ground type attacks are the way to go. I didn't want to use Muddy Water, or Mud Bomb, I mean, because it has lower accuracy than Surf, and I'm already pushing my luck. So, hopefully Cynthia doesn't use a full restore or something here. But thankfully I'm doing pretty good against Lucario as is, so... Okay, she did. But it's nothing really too much to worry about. If you're fighting this Lucario, and she pulls that full restore junk on you, you gotta watch out, because that means, boom! Back to full hit points. What do you do now? Well, I'm going to take this opportunity to raise my speed a little bit. Because, well, I don't know. I think the Lucario was striking first, that's why. Oh, man. That was not cool. I guess it makes up for that awesome blizzard luck. But still, scary stuff. Critical hits are not fun to see when you're using X items. Not fun at all. Now, Aura Sphere is probably the toughest move it has in its arsenal because it has 90 power and it's a fighting type move. Thankfully, it didn't do all that much to me, but considering I have like 2 or so special defenses on me, or special defense boosts, it did quite a bit. And it never misses, too. It has perfect accuracy. Okay, this is getting really close here. I was trying for Mud Bomb again, because I knew Surf wouldn't quite do enough. And, I don't know, it might be able to take it, like, completely out, but it's a gamble. Thankfully, Lucario, unless it gets a critical hit on... I don't know what. I don't know what it could get a critical hit on right now. As long as I stay in good health. Maybe if I'm weak and it gets one, that's the only way it could take Astro out. Naturally! What did I tell you? Ugh! Jeez! Okay, so, yeah, that's just great. That's just great. I just love jinxing myself, don't I? Okay. But Astro did great. Now it's time to send out Marriland the Infinite. Yep, the one I first started with. Hopefully I'll be able to end it with. Now, I'm very surprised, actually, that my Infernape is faster than Lucario. Lucario's pretty zippy. I know Infernape is too, but that 12 level difference scared me. But it didn't do enough. It didn't quite do enough. So that's not good. Not good at all. But thankfully it didn't use Psychic, so that is good. And we're both super weak. Now, I'm going to chance it again and try to hit rather than using like a Hyper Potion, because I noticed I was faster, and I just got to take it out. And if she used a full restore, I could always just use Close Combat. Whew, now that was close. Okay, Melodic though, or Milotic. This is something that Marriland does not want to see. At least this Fiery Infernape doesn't. Now, I don't know exactly which of my Pokemon can handle this thing. I mean, it shouldn't be too much of a problem, but it's still something I need to watch out for. So, I think I'm going to take a gamble here and send out Psych, my Alakazam, because she hasn't gotten action recently. Now, this thing has Surf, Ice Beam, Mirror Coat, and Aqua Ring. Aqua Ring will make it so it recovers some hit points between turns. Mirror Coat is what I'm really nervous about, though, because if I hit it with a special-based attack, and it uses Mirror Coat, then it'll hit me for twice as much damage as I did to it. So I have to be very careful here, and I want to make sure that Psych can knock it out in one hit. Because otherwise Miracle will activate, and then, boom, it'll knock out Psych, no matter how much I do. So that's why I'm going to try load up on as many Calm Minds as I can, because all this my Loaded can do is Surf and Ice Beam. And since I already have high special defense, it shouldn't do that much damage. Yeah, that's not too bad. I can easily go for another Calm Mind. As long as I don't get unlucky and she gets a critical hit or freezes me with Ice Beam, I should be in good shape. Even if she does freeze me with Ice Beam, I can use a full heal or something. But against Milotic, you want to be very careful that you don't use special base attacks on it if you don't think you can take it out. See right there, if it used Mirror Code against me, I'd be ruined. Absolutely ruined. Okay. Now, the good news is I should be able to take this thing out with another Psychic. So hopefully this will do the trick. There we go. And a critical hit nonetheless. So that takes that thing down. Okay. Now it is just her Spiritomb left. Which unfortunately isn't very good news for Psych, because I can't remember the last time I was put in a corner like this. It's not good news for Psych because Psychic doesn't work against it. Since I already have a few Calm Minds ready, I'm just going to let Psych go. She's not going to be that much more useful in this fight anyway, so I'll just make that last hit count. Now that'll certainly take Psych out and give a critical hit just to mock me. Oh well. You did good, Psych. Alright, Gojira. Let's see if you can take this now. It's too fun to let it end this easily. Oh, it's too fun for ya, huh? Oh, great. Full restore. I thought you might have used your last one. Jeez. See, you always have to be careful for that, because if she uses the full restore, it's not good. Because then you have to redo all that work. And to be honest, I don't know exactly what I can do that great against with this Spiritomb. I might have to use... I don't know. I don't know. So I'll just play around a bit. Thankfully, this is the only thing that she has. Okay, now that not being able to use items thing, that hurts. Just in case I wanted to heal or something. Now I'm using Ancient Power in an attempt to try and get a nice boost off. Because I could have all of my stats go up by one stage if I get that 10% chance of that effect. And that'd be kind of nice. Doesn't look like it's going to happen though, but since it's doing around the same amount of damage. Okay, so I don't think Gojira... Yeah, Gojira's out of there. So, I believe that just leaves us with Marriland. The Infernape. I could heal. I do have a Revive. And I do have my HM Slave, but I'm running out of options here. Do I revive one of them? And just sacrifice Marriland? Do I switch to HM Slave? What do I do? You know what? I'm gonna go for it. I think I'm going to go for it. And it works! Fire Blast hits, even with its not the greatest accuracy in the world, but will it be enough? And it is! And that is it. In an epically close fight, with Marriland and HM Slave being my last Pokemon. That's it. Now I'm the most powerful of all trainers. The champion! You get a ton of money if you have an amulet coin. Oh yeah, I have the coolness. In the crowning of Sinnoh's new champion. Ooh, we get to take a lift! A gigantic one, too. This room, it blinds me in my camera. The room ahead is the Hall of Fame. Rowan, what are you doing here? Devin, your last battle was splendid. How did you get here? Oh, hello, Professor Rowan. A child unlisted, etc., etc. Wow. Shouldn't call you a child anymore. Yeah, you shouldn't. Okay. Step this way, please. Where's Rowan gonna come along? I didn't know he was here. Seriously, dude, what are you doing here? It's so dark. Sorry for this quality. The Hall of Fame. That's it. That is it. Put on my 6 little Pokeballs there onto that machine. And then... Yay! Checkmate! An Astro! And Gojira! And Marriland, of course. Then there's Psych! And let's not forget our good old HM Slave. And that is it. The League Champion, Marriland's Pokemon Diamond Adventures, is complete. Thank you everyone for watching. It's been a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it. We all play Pokémon. You know the game, and so do I. Funny comments that you really love. You just can't get this from any other guy. I just wanna show you what I'm playing, because I am Marriland. I was gonna knock you out, I was gonna scream and shout, I was gonna run around and forget you. I was gonna want honey, I was gonna say stunky, I was gonna find a way to amuse you. You've all been waiting so long. I see a Murkrow and I break its beak. Magikarp's falling up from above. See one more of them and I'm gonna freak. And if you're liking what you're hearing, it's because I'm Marriland. I was gonna knock you out, I was gonna scream and shout, I was gonna run around and forget you. I was gonna want honey, I was gonna say stunky, I was gonna find a way to amuse you. I was gonna knock you out, I was gonna scream and shout, I was gonna run around and forget you. I was gonna want honey, I was gonna say stunky, I was gonna find a way to amuse you. Knock you out, 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 knock you out. You've been waiting so long. I see your Murkrow when I break its beak. Magikarp's falling up from above. See one more of them and I'm gonna freak. And if you're liking what you're hearing, follow me on Facebook and Twitter and stuff. I'm Marriland. I was gonna knock you out. I was gonna scream and shout. I was gonna run around and forget you. I was gonna want honey. I was gonna say stunky. I was gonna find a way to amuse you. I was gonna knock you out. I was gonna scream and shout. I was gonna run around and whoops. I was gonna want honey. I was gonna say stunky. I was gonna find a way to amuse you. Knock you out. Knock you out. Boom. Yeah, this is the end. This is what you've been waiting for. This is what you've been waiting for what? 4 years. You've been waiting all this time. And you know what? Marriland has finally rickrolled you, baby. Yeah, you better believe it.